The Iliad is a famous story, one that has captivated audiences for centuries. It is a poem from ancient Greece, a cornerstone of Western literature. People think a man named Homer wrote it, though his true identity remains a mystery. We don't know much about Homer, but his stories are still told today, passed down through generations. The Iliad tells us about a war, a conflict that has become legendary. This war was the Trojan War, a pivotal event in Greek mythology. It was fought between the Greeks and the Trojans, two mighty civilizations. The Iliad is an epic poem, a grand narrative that spans many themes and emotions. This means it's a long poem about heroes and battles, filled with larger-than-life characters. The story takes place a long time ago, in a world where gods and mortals interacted. It happened in a time of myths and legends, where the lines between reality and fantasy blurred. The Iliad is not just a story about war, it delves deep into the human condition. It is also a story about human emotions, capturing the essence of what it means to be human. The poem explores themes of love, anger, and revenge, showing us the complexities of human nature. It asks big questions about life and death, making us ponder our own existence. The Iliad also gives us a glimpse into ancient Greek culture, their beliefs, and their way of life. We learn about their values, their gods, and their daily lives, enriching our understanding of history. The Iliad is a powerful and moving story, one that resonates with readers even today. It has been read and enjoyed for centuries, a testament to its enduring appeal. The poem speaks to us across time, bridging the gap between the ancient and the modern. It reminds us of the enduring power of human emotions, and the timeless nature of great storytelling. The Trojan War did not begin with a battle. It began with a seemingly innocent event that spiraled out of control. It began with a choice that would alter the course of history forever. A young prince named Paris from the city of Troy was thrust into a situation that demanded a decision. He was asked to choose the most beautiful goddess among three divine beings. The goddesses presented to him were Hera, the queen of the gods, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. Each goddess offered Paris a tempting reward, but it was Aphrodite who made the most irresistible promise. She told him he could have the most beautiful woman in the world as his own. Paris, blinded by desire and the allure of Aphrodite's promise, chose her as the fairest. The most beautiful woman in the world was Helen, but there was a significant problem. Helen was already married to Menelaus, the king of Sparta, a powerful Greek city-state. Paris's decision not only angered the other goddesses but also set off a chain reaction of events. This choice set in motion a series of events that would eventually lead to one of the most famous wars in history. Paris sailed to Greece and took Helen back to Troy with him, an act that enraged Menelaus. Menelaus called upon his brother Agamemnon, the powerful king of Mycenae, to help him retrieve Helen. Agamemnon responded by gathering a vast army of Greek warriors, ready to fight for honor and retribution. Among these warriors were some of the greatest heroes of Greek mythology, including the invincible Achilles. Together, this formidable force sailed across the Aegean Sea, determined to lay siege to the city of Troy. And so, because of a single fateful choice made by a young prince, a decade-long war began, forever changing the ancient world. Achilles was the greatest warrior among the Greeks. He was said to be the son of a goddess, making him almost invincible in battle. Achilles was known for his speed, strength, and unmatched skill in combat. He led his Myrmidon warriors with fierce determination. They were a formidable force on the battlefield. Despite his prowess, Achilles was also known for his pride and temper. When Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek forces, dishonored him by taking away his war prize, Briseis, Achilles became enraged. He refused to fight, withdrawing his Myrmidons from the war effort. This decision had a profound impact on the Greeks. They began to suffer heavy losses at the hands of the Trojans. Achilles' absence was felt keenly by his comrades, who desperately needed his strength and courage. Hector was the prince of Troy and their greatest warrior. Unlike Achilles, driven by personal glory, Hector fought to protect his city, his family, and his people. He was known for his bravery, nobility, and sense of duty. Hector was beloved by his people and respected even by his enemies. As the Greek army besieged Troy, Hector became a symbol of hope and resistance. He led the Trojan forces with skill and courage, often facing the most dangerous opponents. Hector's sense of responsibility weighed heavily upon him. He felt the burden of his city's fate resting on his shoulders. Hector's humanity shines through in the Iliad. He is a loving husband to Andromache and a devoted father to their son, Astyanax. His scenes with them are some of the most poignant in the poem, highlighting the human cost of war. Section 5. The Wrath of Achilles, a grieving hero's fury. Achilles, consumed by grief and rage over the death of his closest companion, Patroclus, returns to the battlefield. His heart is heavy, and his mind is clouded with thoughts of vengeance. The loss of Patroclus is a wound that cuts deeper than any sword. Patroclus was killed by Hector while wearing Achilles' armor, a tragic mistake that fueled Achilles' wrath. The sight of his fallen friend, clad in his own armor, is a haunting image that Achilles cannot erase from his mind. Fueled by a desire for revenge, Achilles becomes an unstoppable force. His rage transforms him into a fearsome warrior, unmatched on the battlefield. His every move is driven by a singular purpose: to avenge Patroclus. He mows down Trojan soldiers, seeking to quench his thirst for vengeance. Each fallen enemy brings him a step closer to Hector, the man responsible for his friend's death. He eventually faces Hector in a duel that will determine the fate of Troy. The air is thick with tension as the two warriors prepare to clash, each knowing that only one will walk away from this encounter. The fight between Achilles and Hector is one of the most iconic scenes in literature. It is a battle of titans, a moment where the fate of nations hangs in the balance. It is a clash of heroes, each representing different values and motivations. Achilles, driven by personal rage and a desire for revenge, and Hector, fighting for his city and the people he loves. Achilles, driven by personal rage, and Hector, fighting for his city and people. The contrast between their motivations adds depth to their confrontation, making it a truly epic battle. Achilles, empowered by his divine lineage, kills Hector. The moment is both triumphant and tragic, as the hero's victory is tainted by the loss and suffering that led to it. He then dishonors Hector's body by dragging it around the walls of Troy. This act of desecration shocks even his own allies, revealing the depths of his fury and the extent of his grief. This act of cruelty reveals the depths of Achilles' rage but also foreshadows the price he will pay for his actions. The hero's journey is far from over, and the consequences of his wrath will echo through the ages. Section 6. Divine Intervention, Gods and Goddesses on the Battlefield. The Trojan War was not just a conflict between mortals. The gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus played an active role, taking sides and influencing the course of the war. Their interventions added another layer of complexity to the story. Aphrodite, who had promised Paris Helen's love, supported the Trojans. Hera and Athena, angered by Paris's judgment, sided with the Greeks. These divine alliances often led to clashes on the battlefield, with gods and goddesses using their powers to aid their favored heroes or hinder their enemies. The gods' involvement highlights the idea of fate. The mortals below are often pawns in the gods' games, their lives subject to divine whims and prophecies. The Trojan War, in this sense, becomes a stage for both human drama and cosmic struggles. Section 7. The Fall of Troy, a city conquered by deceit. After 10 long years of siege, the Greeks finally captured Troy. They did so not through brute force, but through cunning. The Greeks devised a plan to trick the Trojans. They built a giant wooden horse and left it outside the gates of Troy as a supposed offering to the goddess Athena. The Trojans, believing the war was over and the horse a symbol of their victory, brought the horse inside their city walls. What they didn't know was that Greek soldiers were hidden inside the hollow belly of the horse. At night, the Greek soldiers emerged from the horse and opened the city gates, allowing the rest of the Greek army to enter Troy. The city was sacked and burned, its men slaughtered, and its women and children taken as slaves. Section 8. Themes of War and Peace, Honor, Fate, and Human Cost. The Iliad explores profound themes that resonate even today. One of the central themes is honor. Characters are driven by a desire for glory and recognition, willing to risk their lives to earn a place in the memory of men. Fate is another important theme. The story suggests that there is an order to the universe, a predetermined course that even gods and heroes cannot escape. The tragic downfall of both Achilles and Hector highlights the often cruel hand of fate. Perhaps the most enduring theme of the Iliad is the human cost of war. The poem vividly portrays the brutality and savagery of battle, the loss of innocent lives, and the enduring grief that war leaves in its wake. Section 9. The Iliad's Legacy: Echoes of an Epic. The Iliad has had a profound and lasting impact on Western literature and culture. Its stories and characters have inspired countless works of art, music, and literature throughout the centuries. The poem's themes continue to resonate with readers today, offering timeless insights into the human condition. The Iliad reminds us of the power of storytelling to transcend time and connect us with the past. It reminds us of the enduring themes of love, loss, courage, and the human condition that continue to shape our understanding of the world. The Iliad is a story that will continue to be told and retold for generations to come,